Alrighty, yeah. And you went live already? Nice.
Welcome everybody to the World of Ability Podcast Network. My name is Emily Gomer and a podcast engineer here. And there we go, I was hearing myself. The podcast engineer here, and I'm excited to bring you another episode of the Conversation for All with Christian and EC Marketing for All that we just started here a few months ago. And so it's kind of all about networking, making connections, and so on. So with nothing further ado, I'm gonna pass this over to Christian to take us off. So welcome, Christian.
Hey, thank you, Emily. I've always appreciated, as always, folks. Again, thank you for hopping on wherever you may be. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you hear this. This is Christian with EC Marketing for All. We're definitely excited on the new podcast episode, Conversation for All, joining the powerful network of voices, including the World of Ability Podcast Network, Project Diehard. And there's another one, our Let's Be Trees, as well as today's Disability Channel. Again, we ask for, and why we do this is to make sure that we are raising awareness. We bring you inspiring stories, expert advice, and valuable insights. Today, we have, along with Margaret Martinez, entrepreneur, founder of Unforgettable U LLC, leading with intention that's beneficial to humanity worldwide. Emphasis in regards to mental health. We inspirationally guide you with non judgmental, empathetic, uh, empathetic and compassionate voice, fostering the success and well-being of others with a heart of trust through clear, concise communication. They are aiming to pave a regeneratively positive impact on future generations to come. So that is awesome, and definitely welcome in. And if you're already in the room, if you want to go ahead and drop your links, one of the things that we do. And there is my brother from another mother, Mr. Alan Holmes, as well. But come on in if we have. Our guests are already in. And Margaret, thank you again. This is a wonderful professional, has become my sister from another mister. Um, one of the wonderful things that has been is, and the opportunities for her to raise her cause and raise more awareness for mental health. Uh, and the wonderful thing about this technology nowadays, there's so many things that can happen with technology, with so many people that have had a bad experience, or have a kind of a different take. It's wonderful to see things that technology working for the good and technology working for a good benefit. So I bring this kind of backstory because it truly is how we met. I met Margaret through a professional LinkedIn network, and some of the things that she's doing, some of the things that groups and conversations and rooms that we attended, and a lot of the missions lined up, and some of the support, as well as some of the background. So I definitely invited her to come on in, and I got excited because she said she's bringing in the team. And again, I mean, I know my brother from another mother, Alan Holmes. Come on in, introduce yourself before we let Margaret in. But uh, speaking of teams, this is a left hand man of the EC marketing. Come on in, bud.
I got to go ahead and speaking of technology, I had to go ahead and find that unmute button. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for inviting me to this amazing platform, Conversation for All. Real quick, I'm a master connector, also a collaborator, connector, and a networker, and a brand ambassador and referral affiliate for EC Marketing for All. And as a master connector, what I do is specialize in collaborating, connecting, networking eradicating poverty, ending mental health stigma, and educating on financial literacy. What I do best, but I want to go ahead and leave it for the legendary queen, your guest, Margaret. Thank you for allowing me to be part of it and be part of a platform that talks about mental health, which is very important to me. So I'm going to step back and say thank you. Looking forward to Margaret's information. Thank you so much.
Margaret, come on in, introduce yourself. Absolutely. And this is why I've kind of mentioned to you, Margaret, that mental health is a stigma, but it's also something that it's just not talked about. I met Alan a couple of weeks ago, and you would think we've known each other for years. But again, same thing with you. It's just a beautiful nature of being authentic. I know a lot of people are taking classes and courses to go through that. So we wish them the very best and good luck with all of that. We have it. So and we love to share it. And because we have it and love to share it, that's why we having and appreciate you coming on and let's have a conversation. So please, floor is yours.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Christian Mendez, and everybody here. I don't have my glasses on. Where are my glasses? Let me see if I can see the name. Sorry. Let's see. We have Kurt, Emily, and Sherry. Kurt again. Kurt. And
oh yeah, we have
Alan.
note takers and AIs.
And Alan.
Absolutely.
Okay. I was like cursing there 3 times. Thanks a lot. So he was on here earlier, but yeah, my name is Margaret Martinez. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much, Christian. It's been just amazing to meet you and everything that that you're doing for the community, for humanity. Yeah. And mental health is very important to me. It's a very serious thing. And I don't think that people take it serious, or they don't want to talk about it. They're not comfortable. So it's places like these, spaces, events, to get the conversation going, to be able to speak about mental health. And I am more and more gearing onto that side of doing mental health and what can we do. And that way we have to break those barriers that have already been, and get out all of that suppression, all that blockage, to try to get everybody to speak out so that we can minimize the suicide rate, so we can minimize, the dependency on substances, right? And so that we can be genuine and vulnerable and wanting to build that change. And I always do that by encouragement of telling everyone how great they are, because I was just in a Curtis Brooks event last night. And I am a believer, and I think I told you that. And I'm very bold in saying that I'm a Christian and I believe in God and Christ and everything. So, and with that respect, it dawned on me. Like one day I thought about it and I said, if I believe I have a creator, and that creator is a supreme being, and that supreme being created all of creation and beauty and is of and is, and the way I had my daughter, that's a part of me and my likeness and my character, but I'm part of a creator that is great. What does that make me? So then when I realized, I said, wow, what does that really say about us as humans? If we believe something like that, that means we're great. That means we're just as great, but we just don't know it sometimes, but when we realize how precious and beautiful we are, how important, how valid, how much value we have in our lives, it changes the trajectory of everything that you do and how you walk and talk. And it was just such a pleasure and honor to meet you. And then nothing's coincidence, right? Nothing is coincidence. Everybody's on a mission, and the mission is for good. And slowly everybody, you know, there's a piece for everyone in it. There's so that we can all be involved, so that we can spread the greatness that's within us, right? I named Unforgettable U LLC. I don't think you've been to my event, the Jam, have you, Christian? You haven't been to that yet?
Not the music, no. And that's what I was just gonna hop on and join the conversation as you mentioned. And absolutely, I'm glad that you said you're loud and proud about being a Christian, and we're gonna shock sister from another mister. But I'm obviously Christian. My name. I'm actually not religious. Actually, um, I'm not gonna go anti-religious, but I will say that I'm very spiritual. And when good and truth and supreme being and God, of course, I believe in God. It's not that I don't. It's just I find the spirituality, and I find that certain religions or certain um, practices, if you will, they can tend to, and they're human made, and they're also formed.
Mhm.
And you said it. We're formed by a creator, and we're in the likeness of that perfect creator. And again, that just speaks volumes to what we talked about in some of the stuff. Alan, we got to have you on some of these as well. And I thought of you, brother, every time when we were talking about it. And it's just some of the beautiful things that when people call one another out, we were on in the room and somebody called Margaret out of love, and that's the type of accountability, that type of that level of respect that I love having around. And if we can have that around, and again, just thinking about it, feeling it, it truly goes back to that. So going to this, aligning with Margaret, as y'all folks know, me being neurodivergent, it makes my brain kind of different things, and I like to jump on 5 tracks when there's only one track. So let me back and align it. God is great. He's perfect. He made us in His likeness. So it's only true, and it's only proof, and that's what we talked about with Margaret, and that's what really inspired me to have her, invite her on the show, and have her come on in and share some of the stuff that she's doing with Unforgettable U LLC, because it breaks down to the human being and just being heard and being able to communicate. And that is exactly what your LinkedIn profile, and that's exactly what your mission and Unforgettable U LLC is about. It's about listening and lending an ear when somebody, that's what part of the mental health is, not just speaking about it, which great. Folks, continue to. If you haven't already, go to share, go like. Don't like any of my pages. You don't have to sign up for any of my subscriptions. Matter of fact, don't. I'd rather you go to the communitypayitforward.us, letsbetrees.org. Go to any of the other organizations. Spirit of the Games is part of the ambassadors that we work with. ProjectDieHard.org is obviously another one with Brian Gibson. Today's Disability Channel, and Let's Be Trees with Sherry Wallace, who invited us. Go and share them. Go and speak to a veteran. Go and just say hello. Just say thank you. And I promise, not only is it going to make you feel better, but it's going to make them feel better. And in today's day and age, when there's so many things that are happening in technology and this and that, and we just talked about it very briefly, Alan, um, is that we forget, and we tend to forget we're human beings. And you know what I heard now, that the AI, we folks like Alan, like Margaret, like myself, we're the premium level. So AI is like entry level. If they want to, like, when companies get, the route the phone calls and troubleshooting operator, or then there's the AI. Well, now if they really need work and they need help, they premium support. So now they got to get people like you, Margaret, people like Alan, that know, that go back to the heart. And so this all aligns with what you're saying and what we're talking about and what we're here for. Is we're here to support, we're here to uplift, we're here to encourage, we're here to listen, and we're here to talk about something again, and it is mental health and some of the stigmas that are around it. If we don't speak, then we're just as part of the problem. Don't believe me? Very simple. Let's go ahead and take a look at, and you can spill something. Don't do anything with it. Just leave it there. Don't do anything. Don't say anything. Just a spill. Just grab a cup. No, don't really do it. Anybody that cleans, they're going to get mad. You spill it, it's there. You don't say anything, it's there. It's damaging. It's creaking. It's going in. It's seeping. people can fall, people. So it creates, but again, so you can either be part of the solution or part of the problem. Now, if you idle by, and it's because of certain things or levels that you're not comfortable in speaking in, we get it. And we love you for it. And we appreciate you because it's tugging at your heart. And even that little tug that's the direction that you want to go in. So definitely, when you feel like you want to do something and it's good and it's positive, it's truth, again, that's what lines up with who you are because you know that you're good, you're truth, your greatness, and you're called to do greatness. You're called on to do great things. And so, bringing back the aligning and bringing back the teams and bringing back like the emphasis. And I want to surround myself with folks like Margaret and Alan. And then I also know that you have another guest for us. And before we go any further in the conversation, wanted to jump in and introduce yourself and the rest of the crew, Margaret.
Do we have anybody else on here?
Check, absolutely. And then
Okay.
Alan.
Yeah. I didn't know if Selassie had joined or not. He was here earlier and then he hopped off. So
No worries.
I'm not
Well,
sure.
if you want to message, that's absolutely fine. Let me get into what
Yeah,
we're
go
kind of
ahead.
doing and some of the stuff with Emily. You got some news and updates on some of the events that are coming up first?
So, thank you, Christian. So we do have a few events coming up here in the next couple months. The first couple, October 24th and December 5th, we're connected with the Easy Expo platform, which is a virtual booth platform, a virtual your own booth platform. So for your business or your organization. So it's gonna be a 6-hour event on both days, with a demo of Easy Expo as well as different speakers. And then we have a Jerry Lewis type telethon on December 15th, and then a holiday event over Christmas on December 24th to 26th. And so if anybody is interested in participating with any of those events, just to let us know. Back to you, Christian.
Thank you, Alan. Let us know what you're doing on your Friday besides getting ready for your Dodgers to lose. I get your Kleenexes out and.
Oh my goodness, I've already been ribbed in the side from my buddy D, who's also a San Diego Padres fan. I know it's 2-2, so yeah, I got my Kleenex somewhere. But you know, they say that your younger brothers, I say, you know, I'm a two. I need to start wearing my Dodger fans, but I don't know. We got it. But yeah, this is a very good. You know, I love the camaraderie of coming together. And having just a spirit of gratitude and living and God bless you, Margaret. Like Christian, I'm a very spiritual person, grew up in Compton, but I bring all this up is because, you know, mental health is, you know, I'm very transparent. My wife has mental wellness, mental health. I do know that one of my associates, she was traveling from the Ohio area back through various states and so forth. And there was a young lady on there that basically was sharing with the whole entire bus for several hours that she was throwing out toes. And I don't know if she was having an episode or what's going on, but I bring that up is because my young, I call her my step auntie for practice and purpose. She doesn't know I'm sharing this, so I'll just say Miss T. Miss T is like a family member, and she shared this with me because she knows that I was gonna, and she didn't know how to react. And I bring all that up is basically say, you know, well, maybe this young lady was trying to express with the world that her soul was being shared with the rest of the bus in a positive way. Because when someone is going through a episode or situations, then you need to bring the greater, the gratitude. I mean, I myself, when I was 11, 12 years old, when it was in the hood, knew that I had that grandma, they're from the African American community and so forth. And then my abuela, see, people don't know, I do know Spanish a little bit, and she said, mijo. I said, oh my goodness. I said, oh, I see. That's why I'm a master connector, because it was because of the roots of my spiritual base, my global view of bringing together, just making sure you check in with folks. That was the end of my story. A part of my story is because Christian knows that every time I met him, he'll tell you the story one day that there was someone that he, from his past, that had the exact same last name, Alan Holmes. And that was, like yourself, Margaret, I don't believe in coincidences. Leos do not believe in coincidences. We believe that divine intervention comes in various ways and various mysterious ways, but the right ways, the right time is the right place. And we are all here on a Friday, and happy fall to each one of you, according to Kurt, who's somewhere, told me it was National Party Day, and we are partying with Conversation for All. And Mr. Christian Mendez. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Back to you, sir.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Again, appreciate you and what you're doing in your corner of the world. As we know, that's exactly what we're about, and that's why we make it a part of this emphasis. Make sure you drop your info in the chat, Margaret, because what we like to do is we want to make sure that everybody gets to be able to find you, know you, and then we reshare these through obviously LinkedIn. I know you're way up there in the LinkedIn kind of categories and platforms. I'm a newbie, so you're gonna have to help me to climb up in regard to that. But let me go back to two things that you mentioned, and with mental health is being able to speak, but also being able to be heard. And you bring up one thing that's a belief. So I want to dive real quick into belief is a mental state of accepting something as true or real, or a feeling of certainty about someone or something. So we know that we are created by perfection and with greatness. We came into this world, and there's a lot of things that we have already in us. And if we know that, a mental state of accepting something as true or real, and we're talking about some real issues here with mental stability and ability, in our ability network. My children were talking about abilities today, and ability children that assistance, because my kids are part of the leader at their school, and it just really just, I was so melting like a father, just so amazed at them. But it really just made me pause and say, how do we speak of someone, even if they're in the room or out of the room? How do we feel? And this is something that I've shared with everybody. When somebody shows you who they are, believe them. Me and Alan have we've come in, and the whole crew, we decided to have a little saying on our show, because along with mental health awareness, suicide veteran awareness, and just overall kindness and respect, um, I say your participation is not an endorsement, but today's guest, we truly endorse and are behind it, as well as our participants in it. So I want to share some resources in regards to, I know, breathing techniques, just pauses, being able to, I use hand cues, I use signals. I'm a very visual. I've started not apologizing, and I tell Alan as well as Margaret, I don't do cliches anymore. There's no more making fun of who we are, because as we've joked, as we've continued to go down those traits, those are the traits in the thought process that we're wanting to break. And without getting too spiritual, we understand that the more that we meditate is the more that we can better be sure of ourselves. Now, again, remember, we just talked about a belief is a mental state of accepting something as true or real, or a feeling of certainty about someone or something. So the more that you understand yourself, the more that you look within, the more that you accept who you are and of greatness. Remember, you are made of greatness. So can an apple tree give you a strawberry? No. Can an apple tree give you an orange or a watermelon or anything other than what it is? An apple tree. So we know that we come from the greatness tree. We come from a lineage, and I am a son of the Lion of Judah, and I am led to lead a tribe with truthfulness, with kindness, without apologizing, not apologizing, because there's nothing to apologize for. But I go with the fervor and I go with that passion because when I met Alan, and he doesn't know, but he has known a lot of things about us, but and he said it. I had a best friend in school, which we actually retired. Margaret, you've never heard this one before. We retired our third grade teacher. Me and my buddy, his name was Alan Holmes. So not only did he have the first name, but the last name as well. So when I met Alan, this Alan Holmes, my new brother from another mother, Alan Holmes, it was just incredible. And it wasn't just the name, obviously. It's the level of respect, it's the level of opportunity, but it's also some of the things that he was going through and some of the things that everybody's going through. Somebody in your community is being scammed, somebody in technology, somebody in your community, somebody in your family, somebody that you know is going through a mental health situation. They're just not talking about it. Because whenever a man, especially Latino or a black man, says, "Oh man, dude, I just start crying. And I just don't feel well about myself." It's just all of a sudden we start getting attacked. And don't be a punk. Don't do this. Don't do that. And listen, me and Alan have said it. I know I'm dead tired. That mean mug and that angry and that it's over, man. I have too much love. I can't mean mug. I can't dog anyone anymore. I lost that. I won't even do it for pictures. I won't do it for cliche. I won't do it, and that's one of the things they say. Oh well, and today I did go a little bit because it's Friday, casual Friday with the Padres, and having my brother from another mother, and now my sister from another mister. And I want to continue this on an ongoing basis. So I had told Ellen already we're going to be jumping on and doing dailies because we understand that people need help, and the more that we can do this in an effective 30-minute, and if it grows from there, that's going to be again the blessings. But we want to be there for folks. We want to be there for people. We want to be there for everybody else. So, what would you say would be the number one thing? What can we do? Can we reach you, Margaret, and what do you suggest when somebody is having a bit of, or maybe they don't know what mental health is. Maybe they don't know how to identify it.
Well, I being an active listener is really good. I always encourage one-on-one, a conversation. And really what I do is during a conversation, I just ask, tell me about when you were younger, because that right there sets the stage for everything of who you are today, right? The learned behavior that you were raised with and what you were taught with and what led you to right here, right now. So, and that's all. Oops, sorry. That's all that I begin with is just a conversation and talking about, the childhood. Everybody wants to talk about their childhood. Some people don't want to talk about their childhood, but they'll still talk about their childhood, right? And that kind of helps to open up. Just with talking to people, I don't really ever have a problem. I don't know why. They actually tell me, they actually say, I don't know why. I just feel comfortable. I could tell you anything. Like, okay, well, that's good. Okay. Kind of, sort of. But I could be in the store. I could be in the grocery store and, how you ask somebody, how are you today? And they're going to tell you how they are, yeah. So
You know why else? You know what else I want to tell you with that? With what you just said is
what, my
watch
brother?
this. Raise your hand if you get told all the time, I don't know why I'm telling you this, or I don't know why I'm talking to you, or I don't know why see. That's my brother from another. That's my sister. See, and so because of that, now can we get okay confidence in what one thinks and knows, having no doubt that one is right. I'm sure That's what sure is. The certainty. I use words and I use shocks and I use values to when I share. So I'm no teacher. I don't have any certifications. As a matter of fact, no certifications. There's nothing on the board. Okay. I'm only a sharer of experiences, and as we've told with Kurt, I'm your cheerleader. Anybody that wants to do good, I'm your cheerleader. Call me and Alan, me and Alan, Emily, Kurt, whatever it is. Get on the horn. Conversation at EC Marketing for All. We can have you hosted. We have a couple of funding. We couple of veterans. Have a couple of other resources. We're bringing and we're vetting resources. We've got other people within our network that are going out and getting memberships and going and collaborating with other people because we truly want to bring back the gold to our folks. With that being said, is that's what I want to go back to is that one word can change things in an instant. But if you're not willing to put the brakes on and say, hey, I need help. And I tell this to anybody children are the future. Again, me and Alan have a beautiful sentiment with children and being in the future together, if I may. He's shared it in the past. We've come from backgrounds with foster parents, foster children. My mom was a foster parent, foster child, daycare provider, and we were overnight emergency parents for some of these situations. So, with that being said, my family is not my family. My family is not blood. My family is who I've chosen to, who I've respected, who I've set boundaries. And when they've set boundaries, I've respected them and I've understood that their boundaries are exactly as important as my boundaries are to them. So, going to certainty, going to beliefs is we're taught from a very young age. No, and I'm gonna poke in some fun because, especially in the Mexican community and Latino community, if you don't behave, the stranger's gonna take you. And I just had that happen 2 weeks ago. And I go, wait, what? No, I got 4 kids. I'm not taking any more on. Are you kidding me? But the harsh reality is that we're still using these tactics today and age. But as they grow up and as they're starting to form, this is me, and you get told, don't talk to strangers. Strangers are going to take you. If you don't, I'm going to send you off to this. I'm going to send you off to that. And we start building these beliefs and that's why when parents go, you know what? And again, sorry, I go back to when parents need help going, I don't know why my kid doesn't listen. Oh, I can tell you, but you don't want to hear. You guys won't probably see this, but it will be maybe the outline, maybe not. Let me back up, see if it does. Shoot, nope, all the way in, all the way in, all the way in. No, all right. So I'm actually holding a mirror, but because of the green screen, you can't see it. But it's just a mirror, and it goes back to the reflection of ourselves, how we act, how we behave, how we react. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to talk to Sherry about her automation on her note taker. With that being said, I had a wonderful conversation with her earlier. We'll have to catch up on what Sherry's doing in wonderful letsbetrees.org. More traffic, more folks, more resources. Going back to aligning with this and what I was saying is the reflection our children are a reflection of their environment. Since we know that we are a reflection of our environment and we were raised in a certain things. And now at 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, we're wanting to change because we go, you know what, that's not a good learned behavior. And people like to say, oh, it's because as you get older, such and such. No. I know plenty of 50-year-old knuckleheads, 60-year-old knuckleheads, 7-year-old knuckleheads that are still in the game. They're still part of the gangs, and and I'm just like, you got no teeth. You can't even no teeth, barely there. And it's like and this is a right. We hey, what's up? We lean back. They can't lean back. They got their cane. They can. Hey, but they're still thinking like they did when they're teens or in their 20s. And so I get that. And again, I want to listen. I want to make sure that you guys connect. Unforgettable U LLC. You can find it on LinkedIn, unforgettableullc.com. Check out the programs, check out the resources, allenfamilyshieldpro.com. And again, you can find them on LinkedIn. Go on brunch. we're also affiliated with Wikipedia, with Helpopedia, and even Go Brunch. Richard and I talked to him about scaling his meeting. So since we're away from him, he's gonna have to plug in to make sure that he catches this. But imagine using the Go Brunch to have like a training seminar where you can. Margaret has a room in Go Brunch, and then they sit down and they're interactive and things like that. Now, then Mr. Richard goes and sells it to Margaret, and Margaret has that as part of your website, so people can sit down and it'll actually automate, and then everybody can start. I got that, by the way, from Lightspeed VT. A couple of the guys from Tony Robbins and a couple of the funnel guys that I used to work with years ago. I don't name drop, but I'm just letting you know where I got the virtual kind of thinking and thought process. It's Lightspeed VT. If you guys want to check them out, I'm not associated with them anymore. I don't know where they're at in the development, but I do know that they had a great interactive VR or training program. So imagine YouTube, but it asks you questions after a certain section, and then you answer it. If you don't answer it correctly, then it actually drops you, and then it makes you, so you got to go back to do those tasks or do those sections again. So it's a virtual technology educational thing like that. So again, super excited about that. Where I was going into is obviously the Go Brunch, obviously Alan and what you're doing, Easy Expo with Emily Goldmer and what she's doing over there. And so all of that just kind of aligns and goes together in regards to what we're talking about and how we want to make ourselves available for folks, how we want to make ourselves be able to listen. So that's why I want to make this on a daily event. I know Alan, in the shortness, we just want to be available on a daily basis to help folks and get them connected. So I know Master Connector is ready to get people connected and get people moving into the right direction to support and uplift one another. So with that being said, let's go ahead and bring anybody else that wants to jump in. Mr. Kurt, come on in. I think you had something for after the show and the next 48 hours. You want to come on in and say anything? If not, I understand. He might. All right. Well, Alan, we're going to go ahead and let you have in regards to the beliefs, the certainties, the changes in attitude, the changes in behavior. We have to be the ones that are setting that, and I know you do as well. Um,
Yes,
and
sir.
aligning that back up with what we were talking about is that even if you're not around, and I'll let you speak on that, but you can be a leader in your anything. You can be a leader wherever you're at. It's the choices and the decisions that you make and how you act, how you react, how you speak. That's going to determine what kind of leader that you will be. And so I surround myself with positive folks and good people that are leaders. And so that we sharpen each other. And as iron sharpens iron, I appreciate you and definitely grateful for you. And I'm going to go ahead and just say that we are the ones that start and we're the ones that change our future. So before anybody that speaks to or wants to change a child, you can speak to them, you can have positive reinforcement and all the great stuff that you can. But if you don't get that parent on board with the same thought process and the fact that there's some change that needs to be made, it's going to just cause that child in that environment more chaos. Because now they're bringing in an outside perspective that is maybe positive, maybe great and beneficial, but that parent is not ready to call themselves or be called out. And so therefore, just sit down, shut up, and just be quiet and get in your room and go do your work. Nobody wants to hear that. No matter where you're at, nobody wants to be dismissed. Nobody wants to be discredited. So we're here to help. We're here to listen, and we got the connections. Go ahead, Alan.
Oh, wow, wow. I see Kurt may be popping in a few minutes, but we actually had an incredible started out the day earlier with a nonprofit organization that helps individuals around the world. Then I met another young lady, Lydia. She's from South Africa that he was talking about children who is in a fundraising capacity of trying to raise the funds for her school for children. You never know who you're going to go full circle, because like you say, anybody knows me, I joke around a lot, but when it comes to children, I'm big onto the world. I'm very serious about that, because children are our future, and they make a change, and we shape their little minds to be the role model, not as we get older, we learn with when they say with ages, you get wiser. And I'm honored to support Christian and Conversation for All and the Project Die Hard and the veteran community, the Disability Channel. There's a gentleman in Santa Papa that's, holidays is coming around as we take care and love and support one another and support the children in the future, because they're watching. And I know Kurt, he's out there with the World of Ability podcast. He supports with the Massive Connection we do every Wednesday, and support with the support of my brother from another Christian. And then it's about just value and the honor and respect. And like we say, listening, but active listening, as Christian has always says. And we've had various different guests in the past. So we encourage you, those who are around the world listening to the recording. We do have the Massive Connected LinkedIn page. Have not plugged that a lot, but just want to let you know you're part of that. And you can actually make sure that we get this information, and Margaret is just an honor. Oh, there he is. So we say, see, it's like that saying, you got to say his name about 2 or 3 times before Mr. Kurt Roscoff pops in the house. Christian said he had something for you, and there's a sidekick, Mr. Christian. Mr. Kurt Roscoff, what you got for us? Have you met the incomparable Margaret? I'll let you go, Mr. Kurt. Go ahead.
All right. We invite everybody to check out Discovery Fest that's going on right now through midday on Sunday. It's a 48-hour experience of a simulcast, and it's pulling in people from all around the world and having all of the online tools and plugins and everything, so that when people are speaking and communicating different languages, it has the translation features right during the live event. So very exciting. It's going on right now. It's been going on for several hours. You can find it through thegreatdiscovery.com/Kurt. That's your invitation for me. thegreatdiscovery.com/Kurt. Check it out. Discovery Fest, available to you through Sunday, October 13th. Enjoy.
Thank you. Yeah, we definitely got to get you guys plugged into YouTube. You guys can already do the multi-language translator, and you guys got to get also on Google Translate. There's a lot of things that we got to make sure that everybody gets plugged in and connected.
As Christian always says, he doesn't like dead air, so I'm gonna bump my gum and do just a couple more seconds, because I see Margaret getting her mic ready, because I believe she has some more gifts. It is an honor to meet you, Margaret. Also, so we have fun here at Conversation for All. They say the eyes are the windows to the soul. You have an amazing aura and personality, and I know you're changing the world. And I want to say, as a person, as a wife with mental health and mental illness, and I'm a mental health advocate, I want to say across the Disability Channel and all those who are the voice of the voices, thank you for doing what you do. God is giving you an amazing gift, and it's an honor and privilege to meet you and be part of the Conversation for All and doing what you do.
Thank you so much, Kurt. Alan, I appreciate you, and nice to meet you, Kurt. And thank you both and Christian, my brother, for inviting me in. And there'll be more people, in the future meetings to come in and stuff. But, you all were talking about the future and the kids, and that, kids are our future, but Christian's right. We do have to work on the parents, right? That's why I do a support group for parents. Also local, and I'll be bringing it to virtually too, with parents for children with self-harm, who do have self-doubt and self-harm, because it does begin with the parents. There's a reason why, your child is going to do whatever they're going to do, or the choices that they're making, right? And mental health is important for us, who are the parents, because, you know, to me, mental health and it's the new currency, that the wealth of mental health, right? And I feel like we all need that equally. Every single one of us. It doesn't matter what your status is. Doesn't matter how high you are. It doesn't matter any of those things. We all need to talk to somebody. We all need help. You know, we all need to, because we've come in a time, and our future, our children will need it too, because it'll be a different time. The world will tell you something different. People are not always kind. You're going to hear this word. You're going to hear that word. Even on LinkedIn, I've, you know, not everyone is kind. You know, not everyone is really your friend. Some people have an agenda, you know, just so many things that life happens, but it's part of life, right? And it's how you handle all of those things, right? How are you going to handle? You have to first realize that negativity works with positivity. You have to have both. It can't just be positive, positive, positive all the time. No, you know, you have to have negative. It's very important to have negative. Just like a battery, how does a car run? On both negative, positive charges, right? How does the lightning strike? Lightning has both negative and positive energies, right? And then we have lightning. It has to integrate and work together, right? So it's vital to have one. You can't have one without the other. They're very important. And in life, it's how you take the negativity, right? To understand it, to dissect it, and to say, and to do an analytical thinking, right? That why would that person act that way, you know? And why would I feel the way I do if that person said, or when they said that? Why do I feel that way? You know, I do a lot of, I've practiced on my analytical skills, because as a woman, I don't have that's not a strength, right? My creative side, I'm there. Boy, am I there, you know? But on my analytical side, because I'm a female and I use the other side of my brain, I have to work and practice at that, right? And it's just a skill, just like anything else, like learning a new language, you know, our thinking skill just has to be practiced, right? So I practice on that. And since I've been doing that, now I'm actually thinking about thinking, what I'm thinking. And now I'm like, why do I think what I think? So I get really deep into something like that. But I do I have less excuses and more results from doing that, right? And that's what it is, just a thinking process. And it works across the board. So parents and adults, to all of us, to learn why we're thinking about what we're thinking is very important. And so then things do not affect us like they once did, right? Because now we've changed our learned behavior that was given and instilled in us when we were a child. When, like Christians, right? Cállate, shut up, sit down, do this, don't move, hurry up, you're going to be late, hurry, it's your fault because we're going to be late. Ándale, hurry up. And what does that build? An anxious person. You just now instilled anxiety in that child because you rushed him and then you put blame, right? So all of that was a learned behavior that I had to unlearn, but you can't unlearn anything just by saying, well, I'm going to learn this. You have to actually learn how to unlearn. So that's another thing. So I work with parents to do that, you know, and doing everything in love, right? First and foremost, because the highest frequency in our universe is love, right? The highest form. So to do that first, but to have self-love. I speak a lot about mindset. I speak a lot about self and self-love. And tomorrow I'm having an event, actually. Tomorrow is an event to highlight yourself. So I welcome everybody and anybody to attend my event tomorrow. So you can have the 5 minutes on the spotlight of yourself. Come and talk about what you do and how you help humanity and how beneficial it is for humanity. So yeah, so thank you so much. I appreciate you. I see somebody else got the mic.
Nope, you're good. Thank you so much. Last word. That was it. You want to say anything else, Alan? Wrap up words, and then definitely drop the event link in the chat. and then we'll make sure that we also get it out to everybody else. Yep, I see it already. Never mind. My bad.
Yeah, you don't ask me to follow that, Christian. I just want to, the mama used to always say that, ladies are always 25, and yes, ma'am. You dropped knowledge on us, Margaret, and we're going to support you in your event in 110%. So, ladies and gentlemen around the world, support Margaret and her vision for helping the parents and just in general. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being a change maker, a change agent in the world, Margaret, and Christian and Kurt and Emily and the entire Conversation for All crew. We love you and each one of you. Probably I will go ahead and get my clinics together for Los Angeles and San Diego this weekend, but we're going to talk about that another time. Back to you, Christian. Appreciate you, brother.
Emily, go ahead and say goodbye. Appreciate you.
Well, thank you everybody for Margaret, Alan, and everybody else for joining us today. And we are here every Friday. And we'd love to have you join us as a guest. So please let us know. And we'd love to everybody check out all of our social media and the other organizations that we work with. Like Jason and their disability channel, Zach Clayton of the PAC channel, Lawrence Wingate of Wingate Studios, Margaret's Heart of Transfer Media, and Earl Williams of the Midwest Plants and Podcast. And all the great work that they're doing. And so until next week, hope everyone has a safe and productive week and to stay happy.